Can traveling too much actually reset your path to citizenship? If you have a green card, does it matter where you spend the bulk of your time? Today, we're breaking down the continuous residence rule, the framework the government uses to decide if you've truly made the U.S. your home. We're also going to cover the critical differences between being a permanent resident versus being a citizen, and the life-changing benefits you unlock once you finally make that transition. We've put the questions and timestamps on the screen so you can jump straight to the answers you need. This is part 2 of a 4-part series on acquiring U.S. citizenship, brought to you by the law offices of Chris M. Ingram. Just a quick reminder, if you appreciate this in-depth content, take a moment to hit like and subscribe. It helps us empower more people like you. Now, back to the video. To understand your strategy for the future, you have to realize that the path from resident to citizen isn't just about waiting out the clock. It's about proving your commitment to your new home. To move from being a resident to a citizen, the government needs to see that you've truly made the United States your permanent home. This requirement is known as the continuous residence rule. But why does this rule exist? What is the government actually looking for? Congress established this rule to ensure you have enough time to settle, learn the language, and familiarize yourself with U.S. traditions and institutions. But it goes deeper. It's intended as a time to shed foreign attachments and acquire an attachment to the principles of the U.S. Constitution and government. It's your opportunity to demonstrate that you are a law-abiding member of society and prove your fitness to be accepted as a U.S. citizen. The logic is straightforward. It would defeat the purpose of the law if a person could acquire a green card, live elsewhere, and then simply show up years later to apply for citizenship. But how do they calculate if you are actually living here? That question led to the 1952 Act, which introduced a specific savings clause to define residence. It defines your residence as your place of general abode, meaning your principal, actual dwelling place in fact, without regard to intent. For example, you might claim your intention is to live in the U.S., but if you are spending the bulk of your time away for prolonged periods, the law suggests otherwise. This created a complicated analysis for anyone who travels frequently. So, what are the 2 keys you need to track? To determine your eligibility, you must look at 2 distinct factors. First, how long have you held your green card status? And second, how long have you been physically present in the U.S. while holding that card? While tracking your green card anniversary is easy, the tricky part is looking at your absences. Immigration officials want you to count every single day you've spent outside the U.S. The rule of thumb is that you must be physically present in the U.S. for at least half of your qualifying period. So, if you are eligible for citizenship after 3 years, you must prove you spent at least 18 months physically inside the country. But is there a limit on how long one single trip can be? This is where the 6-month rule comes in. The calculation starts with one critical question. Have I been away from the U.S. continuously for more than 6 months? If your individual trips are all less than 6 months, you generally pass this specific test. But we know life doesn't always fit into a 6-month window. What happens if you have to be gone longer? In our next video, we solve the problem of absences between 6 and 12 months, and what happens if you're away for more than a year. All this might feel like a lot of record keeping, but the payoff of reaching the finish line is immense. U.S. citizenship provides a level of security that a green card simply cannot. From a legal standpoint, U.S. citizenship provides a robust array of rights and benefits that are not available to non-citizens, even those with permanent resident status. It's the difference between having permission to stay and having the right to belong. Citizenship gives you the power to vote and even run for most public offices, allowing you to influence the laws that shape your community. It provides absolute protection from deportation and allows you to sponsor your family members for green cards much faster. Economically, it opens doors to federal jobs and government contracts that are off limits to residents. You gain access to federal financial aid for education and one of the most powerful passports in the world for hassle-free travel, along with all of the other several benefits that come with full legal and cultural integration. Ultimately, this transition is the final step in securing your place in the American dream. We've covered the physical presence rule and the importance of the 6-month threshold. To help you prepare, we've made a specific visa guide and resources available on our website. Take a look at those tools to start deepening your strategy today. See you on the next video.